Hello and welcome back to Christian Weather Broadcasting Live. Today we're going to be discussing Tropical Storm Alberto, and maybe I'll be discussing some of the other disturbances out there, but mainly we're going to focus on Tropical Storm Alberto. Let's get right into that. So, Tropical Storm Alberto now has winds, well, actually, same winds, 40 mile per hour winds, 995 millibar pressure, moving west-southwest at 9 miles per hour. Here are the key messages. Please pause. Can't really pause, so I'll just read them. Users are reminded not to focus on the exact forecast track of the system. Alberto is very large, with rainfall, coastal flooding, wind impacts occurring far from the center along the coasts of Texas and northeastern Mexico. Heavy rainfall associated with tropical storm Alberto will impact large regions of Central America, across northeastern Mexico and into South Texas. This rain will likely produce considerable flash and urban flooding along with new and renewed river flooding. Life-threatening flooding and mudslides are likely in and near areas of higher terrain across the Mexican states of Coahuila, I'm so sorry if I mispronounced that, Nuevo Leon, and Tamaulipas, including the cities of Monterrey and Ciudad Victoria. Moderate coastal flooding is likely along much of the Texas coast through Thursday. Tropical storm conditions are expected today along portions of the Texas coast and south of San Luis Pass and along portions of the coast of northeastern Mexico within the tropical storm warning area. But before we talk more about that, I want to bring you to the satellite imagery for Tropical Storm Alberto. Right now you can see the center looks like it continues to get better defined, and it's starting to feature somewhat of what looks like an eye. You can also see some of these big bubbly storms with cold cloud tops moving into Mexico. So definitely be prepared for stormy conditions if you live in those areas. And up north, in Mexico, you can also see one of those big bubbly storms moving through. So definitely be safe if you live in an area where those storms are moving through, because I think those could cause some stormy conditions. Let's go to the true color so you can see this in satellite. It is definitely developing in a center that has, that looks more like an eye. Though it is not forecast as of yet to become anything significant, and do not freak out about this storm. It's not going to be a hurricane, but it does seem to be that it may be possibly intensifying. You can see the aircraft reconnaissance has caught 993 millibar pressure. So because the pressure is lowering, that does lead to lead to me thinking that it may be intensifying. Plus, take a look at this wind swath we're getting here. Significant, well, not significant, but we're definitely getting more higher wind. You can see that area right there where they got almost consistently 50 to 55 knot wind, which is over 50 knot wind is probably near, I'd say, 55-ish miles per hour, so maybe 50 to 60 mile per hour wind in that swath. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see this thing increase in overall wind. We'll have to get more aircraft reconnaissance info to get an idea, but expect the next update from the NHC to show an intensifying storm, because I believe we're seeing that. We are definitely seeing an intensifying storm. Let's go back to the National Hurricane Center. Let's go to our wind speed probabilities. Southern Texas still looking at around 90% chance plus. You can see good swath of Mexico is into that 90% plus chance, and inland Mexico could also be experiencing the wind from this. Peak surge, we're looking at 2 to 4 feet of surge. Galveston Bay, 1 to 3 feet, Sabin Pass to Vermilion, and mouth of the Rio Grande to Sargent is 1 to 3 feet of storm surge. And I've seen some videos from the Weather Channel and other news sources. Definitely there is actual flooding and storm surge. And I just heard that low tide just happened, so high tide has to come again, so that storm surge may rise based on what I have seen. Here's our rainfall potential. You can see in the mountains of Mexico, what a lot of rain. That's a lot of rain there. That's 20 to 30 inches expected. So if you live in Mexico, please, please be safe and be prepared for the amount of rain you're going to get. Portions of Texas going to be getting 6 to 8 inches rain, which is also quite a bit. 4 to 6 in other areas and near the coast, around 2 to 4 inches of rain. Flash flooding potential, moderate, at least 40% in Laredo, Brownsville, and Corpus Christi, and other areas are looking at a slight, at least 15% chance, and all the way up. And now Roswell, Arizona New Mexico, I'm sorry. Roswell, New Mexico is now in the slight. That is increased from the last forecast. So that is what's going on with what the NHC is showing. Let's go to our rain accumulation from the different models. ECMWF model is forecasting 5.8 inches in Monterey, Ciudad Victoria, 2.94, Ciudad Valles, 3.62. So you can see these areas are definitely going to be getting quite a bit of rain. Let's go to the GFS. GFS is not forecasting as much rain in the next 24 hours. In the next 3 days, though, it is forecasting some higher amounts. In the next 24 hours, the ICON model is also not forecasting too much for Monterey, but you can see in certain areas like Santiago, Riones, you can see these areas getting some higher rainfall amounts, even up to 7 inches. So in the mountainous regions, definitely going to be expecting high rain totals in those mountainous regions. So if you live in the mountainous regions, be safe and expect quite a bit of rain. And just be safe, especially from landslides and all of that. So, that is what's going on currently with Tropical Storm Alberto. And since it's 9:19, the aircraft reconnaissance will be updating in probably right about now. So, I'm going to wait for that update. Okay, they're out of that little swath that was 50 to 55 knot wind, and they're back into 45 to 50 knot wind. So, that's about, 50 to maybe 55 mile an hour sustained. Well, 55 mile an hour wind in that area. So that is what we're seeing right now. I'm going to leave you on this page where you get to see current stats, risks, news, and a slideshow of the NHC and a recent satellite image, which I will update before I leave, and I will update this periodically. Hello and welcome back to Christian Weather Broadcasting. I am sorry, in my earlier video I don't think I said this. Repent and put your faith in Jesus because only He can save you from hell. We all deserve hell for our sins, but Jesus can save you from hell, and if you'd like to know more, check out the gospel message in the description. Again, sorry for not saying that. Alrighty, let's get back into this forecast for Tropical Storm Alberto. We're going to probably be having another update from the National Hurricane Center at 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. CDT. But let's get right into this forecast right now. So right now you're looking at Tropical Storm Alberto. It is getting closer to land. Center of the system is right about here, and you can see some of these cold cloud tops are moving into land now. So if you are in Mexico, please be safe. You're going to start feeling the effects of this storm right now. But on the southern side of this storm, mainly right here, it's going to be less effects than on the northern side up here. The northern side has much stronger winds, and I'm going to show you that in just a second. The southern side doesn't have as strong of winds, which is interesting. But again, the northern side of this system is going to be stronger. It is currently strengthening right now, and the hurricane hunters are in it, have found some stronger winds, so I expect at the next NHC update we're going to see a bump up in the actual strength of this thing, and it's probably down to about 993 millibars right now. Let's go to true color here. You can see the center right about here, tiny little center. Maybe not forming an eye, but it looked like it was for a moment there. But you can definitely see the center now, and this thing is moving closer and closer to Mexico, and it's going to be landfalling probably sometime about 2 a.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. CDT. Let's go to the windy rain accumulation. The ECMWF has, I think, changed forecast slightly. Next 24 hours, Monterey is going to be getting around 5.8. Ciudad Victoria, 2.94. Linares, 3.51, but the next 3 days going to be around 10 inches. Ciudad Victoria, 8.28. And Linares, 7.39. Other areas down south are going to be getting stronger. Going to be getting decent amount of rain accumulation. You can see on the coast of Texas, the barrier islands, they're also going to be getting decent amount of rain in the next 24 hours. So please be prepared for flash flooding, especially in these mountainous regions of Mexico. Please be prepared for flash flooding, landslides, and all the things that come with that. Let's take a look at our surf. What are the waves going to be like with this thing? Right now, it looks like 17 feet at the highest. Other areas, you can see this thing is creating weight quite far out away from it, all the way up to around New Orleans, looking at 8 to 9 feet of waves, and just off the coast of Texas, looking like you're going to be getting some pretty high waves. Not to mention, I do believe there is rip current all the way up into Florida. Let's take a look here next. I want to bring us to... Well, let's take a look at the current track for the NHC. This is not updated yet, but it should be updated very soon. As of 11, it should be updated. So, storm's going to be making landfall. It's actually been bumped further south now. So not Tampico anymore. It'll be closer to Tampico Alto. So that is where we're looking at landfall now. Further south than what was initially forecast. I think so it's continuing to go south as far as forecast goes. I mean, even I think I was thinking Altamira was where we're going to see forecast as my update as of last night, which was about a day ago, and it's gone further south than even I thought because I was looking at what the models were currently forecasting. So, let's take a look at the models and where they are going. I'm going to pull that map up again and see if it's going to track further south or going to go about where we expect it. So, it seems that it's going to follow around the track that it's currently forecast to go. So it seems that it'll be it'll stay on its current track. GFS does have it slightly north up into Tampico in a slightly later landfall, and the Icon model is going to bring it slightly north as well. So I'll keep my forecast the same. We're going to see, I think we'll see landfall anywhere from Tampico Alto all the way up to Altamira. That's what I will say. Though, of course, it could always happen further south. I mean, we do have the possibility of it being further south because it's on the, or it's in the cone of uncertainty. But based on what the models are showing, I'm going to say anywhere from Tampico Alta all the way up to Altamira is where we're going to see landfall of this system. And again, wind still for Texas, possibility of tornadoes. There was an actual tornado report, which if you were watching the stream, you saw. So there is an actual tornado report, and I'll bring you to that right now. So let me go to, hold on just a sec. I'm going to bring us very quickly here. Hold on just a sec while I bring us to the tropical tidbit, excuse me, wrong website, while I bring us to the storm reports. Alrighty. Alrighty, everybody, here's your storm reports. You can, little red dot on the map shows where that tornado was. So, in Texas, please be prepared for the possibility of tornadoes, and I think Mexico should probably, of course, stay tuned for that as well. Let's go to the, we're going to be coming up to the next aircraft reconnaissance update soon. And I want to go through what we have with the aircraft reconnaissance. Sorry I didn't get to this because I was going to tell you about how the northern part of the storm is stronger than the southern part of the storm. Now I'm going to talk about that. Sorry I didn't get to that earlier. Minimum central pressure that we recorded by the minimum central pressure that was recorded by the Hurricane Hunters is at 993, so that is less than 995, meaning intensification. And we also have some pretty strong winds, and I want to bring you to those right now. So on this side of the storm right here, you can see some of those stronger winds, some tropical storm force wind right around here. And then this little swath right here, bringing in some pretty decent wind. That wind speed right there is around 50 to 55 knots, so that's reaching upwards of 60 miles per hour in that swath right there. And these yellows and greens are also tropical storm force winds, so that's the strongest part of the storm as far as wind goes. And this little area right here also brought some decently strong wind, especially little spot right there. I don't know if that was a gust, but it brought 60 to 64 knot wind, which is high wind. That's about 70 miles per hour in that spot. I'm not saying the storm is that strong, but I do think we will see the next update bump this thing probably to 45 miles per hour. Maybe more, but I doubt it. I think it'll probably be bumped to 45 miles per hour and around 993 millibar pressure, according to what we are seeing from the Hurricane Hunters. And it is 10:40 Eastern Time now, so we should have, well, I guess we don't have another update from the aircraft reconnaissance, but you can see on this other side of the storm, this is the stronger part of the storm, so I will circle that in yellow to signify the stronger part of the storm. So we'll call that the stronger part of the storm, and this side over here, I wouldn't want to call it the weak side of the storm, but not as strong. And as you can see, we have some tropical storm force winds, but not as consistently strong as this side of the storm right around here. Alrighty, everybody, that is the 11 o'clock update, and I will be coming, 10:30 update, and I will be coming back at 11 o'clock to do the next update. Thank you for watching for now, and I will be back. Hello and welcome back to Christian Weather Broadcasting. Thank you for tuning in to this live stream. We got our new update from the National Hurricane Center, so let's get right into this. But before we do, repent and put your faith in Jesus, because only He can save you from hell. If you'd like to know more, check out the gospel message in the description. Alrighty, everybody. Newest update from the National Hurricane Center, moving at 9 miles per hour west, so it's moving pretty slow. Maximum sustained winds jumped from, get this, from 35 knots to 45 knots. So we went up 10 mile per hour since the last update. 50 mile per hour sustained wind now. Minimum central pressure of 993 millibars. These are the key messages. You could pause this and read those. I'm not going to go through those right now. Wind speed probabilities. Yeah, big swath now. This has changed in the update. Big swath of Mexico now in the 90% chance of tropical storm force winds, and that moves inland, well inland now. Inland Mexico is going to be getting those tropical storm force winds by Thursday 2 a.m. And let's take a look at our new cone of uncertainty. Or has that not been really? Oh, here it is. Here it is. The cone is really tiny now. By 7 a.m. Thursday, it's going to be on land as a tropical storm, so it's going to be making landfall overnight, and here it is as of 10 p.m. CDT, or 11 p.m. Eastern, and a giant wind swath. That wind swath has actually grown now, and the wind swath is even further into Mexico than it was. So, let's go and also take a look at our rainfall potentials. Those haven't changed a whole lot. Flash flooding potential is here. And let's take a look at our peak surge, which hasn't changed as well. So let's go to windy, and I'm going to update the site, and that way we get our new map. And tomorrow it's going to be over land at 30 knots. Today this has not updated. It's still showing 35 knots. Let's rewind it again. Okay, so windy has not updated, but either way, we do have our newest map from the National Hurricane Center. 50 mile per hour storm now. So that is something we definitely need to be prepared for. I wouldn't be surprised if it continues to intensify. Let's see if we have anything new from the... Yeah, nothing much there new from the from the Hurricane Hunters. Let's go to our true color, and I wouldn't be surprised if this thing continues to intensify before landfall. Right now, it kind of intensified pretty fast. It went all the way up to 50 mile per hour sustained wind, which wasn't even forecast. So it's expected to spend... probably going to be making landfall around 2 a.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. CDT, which is about, let's see here, it's about 3 hours from now. So, by the 2 a.m. update, I wouldn't be surprised if we see it at 55, maybe 60 miles per hour. So I'm going to say it's going to make landfall at 55 miles per hour, though since it intensified so fast, it may actually be stronger than that. Again, we're seeing those storms affect all the way up into Texas and down further south into Mexico, and please be safe where you are getting the landfall of this system in Mexico, because it is definitely going to rain quite a bit in Mexico. So, 55 miles per hour, maybe 60 on landfall is what I'd say for this thing now. It may not have time to intensify. It may not intensify at all until it makes landfall. It has 3 hours pretty approximately over water, so it may make it to 55. 60's probably a little high, so 55 miles per hour is probably what we will see with this storm. So I'm going to end the stream for now and do a regular update, and and then we'll see what happens. Thank you for watching. This has been Christian Weather Broadcasting.